No. So Katie's going to read the questions at the end. Any of them that.
So welcome to the virtual college exploration for all North Carolina and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. So thank you for joining us today. Just a few housekeeping notes before we get started. You can use the Q&A button to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions that are happening over the course of the next month. So be sure to check out the full schedule at CACRAO.org. That's CACRAO.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available for you to view afterwards within about a week on the same website. Again, that's CACRAO.org, CACRAO.org. And I'd like to now turn it over to our presenters.
Good morning.
Morning, all.
Hopefully you are joining us for talking about our Bridge to Clemson programs with Tri-County Technical College. We are going to share our screen for a presentation about Bridge to Clemson, and then we'll have a chance for you to answer any questions you have. To start our presentation, we will do some introductions of our panel, and then we'll get started. My name is Kristen Karasik, and I am the Director of Bridge Programs at Tri-County Technical College.
I'm Tiffany Blackwell. I'm the Director of Recruitment, Admissions, and Orientation at Tri-County Technical College.
I'm Katie Veason. I'm the Assistant Director of Recruitment, Admissions, and Orientation at Tri-County Technical College.
Always do ladies first.
Okay, my name is Mary Von Canel. I'm the Director of the Bridge to Clemson program at Clemson University.
And good morning or good afternoon, depending on what time zone you're in, or even good evening, I suppose. My name is Bob Bennett. I'm the Senior Associate Director of Admissions at Clemson. And I will be available for questions, but really this is Tri-County's program, and they are going to explain to you what the services are that they offer. And if there are questions regarding how does one join that program, I'll be happy to answer those a little bit later. Thank you all.
All right, so we'll get started now that you know who we are. We are going to talk a little bit about Bridge to Clemson specifically. So in 2006, the Bridge to Clemson program was created to create greater access to Clemson for qualified students through a dedicated pathway. We really truly try to create that first year experience, and that is from an academic and co-curricular experience. So we integrate students on both campuses, and you become kind of that citizen of two nations in which you are plugged in here at Tri-County, and you can use the student resources, the student involvement and organizations, all the resources on our campus, and that includes the help and support. But then you're also plugged in at Clemson's campus. We work together to integrate that curriculum as well so that you are taking transferable credit, and it's for your dedicated pathway. For students who maybe don't know what they want to major in or change their mind, you can change your mind in college. A lot of college is learning who you are and things around you and the world around all of us. But changing your major is an option in Bridge. So we work with you to make sure that you stay as on track in a curriculum pathway as possible. We have had a large success in our program, and that's really attributed to the students' hard work. We are the program that gives you your option A, which is that tiger paw on the diploma, through an option B with some hard work. And so as you can see the chart on the screen, we have had students throughout our almost 15 years now, where we have had consistent growth in the program, but continued success for students being able to what we call bridge or cross the bridge to Clemson. And so you will see that students are making that bridge well into the 80%. So how did this start? How do students get selected, and how do we get our cohort each year? So students are applying to Clemson University directly, and students are selected through Clemson University admissions. Students typically get that offer around Valentine's Day. Some of those times it might be a little early. Who doesn't like an early surprise? But that admissions letter will let students know their admissions decision and status with Clemson University, which includes special programs such as Bridge to Clemson. Once students become and have that offer as a Bridge to Clemson student, they then have some choices to make, just like with making all college decisions. So for us, because you are part of two institutions, once Clemson University admissions gives an offer to a Bridge to Clemson program, you have the option to express interest. Expressing interest lets Tri-County know about you. We get your application materials, and at that time you are not required or tied to the program. You're just letting Tri-County know you're interested, and you start receiving materials from us at Tri-County. Once you express interest, again, we start communicating with students here at Tri-County so that we know a little bit about you and you know about us. Once you do that, if you feel that this is the right program for you, students submit a non-refundable advance deposit, and that secures your spot in the program, which is academic and residential, so it secures your spot in housing as well. With that, it is up to you what your bridge year looks like. You will attend Tri-County as a first year. It is a full academic year program, so we have fall and spring as your bridge year. And then there is a grace period of summer after your fall and spring here at Tri-County if you need that to make up, catch up, or get ahead in your curriculum. Students in the Bridge to Clemson program during the bridge year have to earn a 2.5 GPA and 30 transferable credits with a grade of C or better. There's also a Redfern immunization requirement that all students for Clemson as first years must complete, and bridge students are included in that as you're on our campuses. As long as you have met those academic requirements, you have no Redfern hold or any financial holds or library holds, you are automatically admitted to Clemson, which is the beauty of that guaranteed admission, but also that intentional pathway. The bridge credits, again, are post-high school. So if you have dual enrollment, AP, IB, well, that helps you in your overall progression at Clemson, and you can move on to next courses, say if you have English or math. You do have to earn that 30 transferable credits with us at Tri-County in the bridge year. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to my counterpart at Clemson, Mary, and she's going to talk a little bit about that Clemson experience in the first year in the bridge year.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning. And thanks, Kristen. Kristen and I work very closely together. It's a very strong partnership between Clemson University and Tri-County Technical College. So we really do have a great team that we have together for our students. What you see here on the screen next is about the Clemson Access. So students often want to know, what do I get to do during the bridge year? And as Clemson, as Kristen mentioned, students do have access to campus services, and this is a list that gives you an idea of what those are. Students pay a bridge fee, which includes their access to the Redfern Health Center. They obtain a Tiger One Clemson ID card. They pay the activity fee. They have access to career services through Clemson and through Tri-County. They work closely with the admissions office during part of the bridge year. The Clemson Academic Success Center has a fully staffed set of services for students, including bridge students. Information technology is available for our students, and of course, campus recreation, which was really important for our students for their engagement with campus. And there are some things that students during the bridge year are not able to do, and those are highlighted here on this screen. There are really three things that students are not permitted to be involved in. Varsity athletics, Division I level sports, Greek life, which is our fraternity and sorority life options. They have to wait until they have been accepted to Clemson and enter their sophomore year before they can participate. And some club sports. Depending on the club sport, some of them have requirements that would mean a bridge student couldn't, and some are open and willing to take lots of bridge students. I think it's important to talk about the three things that really support our students and make them successful during their bridge year. And so these are the things that we are going to share with you all this morning to give you a better idea of what is involved with a bridge program. The advising support, the academic support, and connecting with campus through social engagement and community outreach. Those are the three pillars that really support our students and make our program so successful. So I'll share with you a little bit about each of those areas just very quickly to give you an idea of what that looks like. We work with our students to help them understand the college advising process. As a new freshman in college, it's important to understand what that looks like and how that works. And our students in the Bridge program have quite a level of access to professional advisors. They have a Tri-County professional advisor, faculty member. They have the Bridge team at both Clemson and Tri-County. We are all professional advisors for students. And the Clemson advisors. So their intended major at Clemson, they have access to advisors in that department in college. So quite a level of assistance and support for our students. And we talked about the academic support. First year in college is the next step up from high school. So there is a lot of college level support for academics. This is another part of the Bridge program that sets us, I think, substantially apart from other Bridge programs, is the dedicated level of support we have for our students. As Kristen mentioned earlier, we also have a curricular alignment, and I'll share with you in a minute what that means for students in the Bridge program and their intended major at Clemson. We have, of course, the key academic resources at both Tri-County and Clemson, and things such as academic coaching and peer-led workshops on topics like time management and study skills. Here you'll see an outline basically of the success resources at Tri-County, the Learning Commons, and the Student Success Center. At Clemson, students in the Bridge program can take part of or be involved in support activities through the Academic Success Center. And we offer something called supplemental instruction, which is peer-to-peer support sessions in those key courses such as math, our sciences, physics, chemistry, biology, and so forth. Very targeted, dedicated support sessions. Kristen also mentioned choice of major and intended degree program at Clemson. So there are certain majors at Clemson every year that are the most popular, if you will, the majors that a lot of students want to be involved in when they think about their career goals. And we do understand that students may enter the Bridge program and they may want to have a degree in health science or nursing or construction science and management. So this list kind of changes every year based on what the university tells us they are working with in terms of departments and the resources and available seats in those majors. So we do work with our students during their Bridge year to help them with their pathway to Clemson and help them work with not only the nursing curriculum, for example, but also a parallel pathway so that when they get to Clemson, they have plan A and they've got a backup and they are ready to roll forward and be successful in that chosen major. Something that's very unique to our program is the curriculum support and guides that we produce every year and work very closely with the Clemson departments. So here we've got a picture of what we call the curriculum worksheet. This is a program-specific worksheet for every single major that is offered through Clemson. And we produce a product that is very direct with what the departments have told us they would like students during their freshman year in the Bridge program to take. So if you're in general engineering, for example, there'll be a very specific list of courses. Same for education and all the different majors that we have. And this helps guide students throughout their Bridge year as they make those academic decisions and choices of courses. We also have a document that we create every year called an academic and advising guide, which is a comprehensive guide not only used by our students, but our faculty and staff advisors as well. And it has a lot of great information to guide our students. Another fun thing to know about our Bridge program and some of the different student options. Students during their Bridge year can participate in ROTC, Army ROTC, and Air Force ROTC are offered through Clemson. And these courses, students actually will take the course through Tri-County and meet with their ROTC instructor and peers on Clemson's campus. Students in the Bridge program can be involved in the choral groups. Through Tri-County, they have several choral groups, and through Clemson, they have several choral group options. And these are courses that students would sign up for and then participate on depending on which campus. Tiger Band is, of course, very, very important part of college existence and life for students who are inclined to be in the music field. So students can do an audition for Tiger Band and get Bridge credits for the music courses that they take through Tri-County. Students also have the opportunity to participate in foreign language course at Tri-County, and even our College 105 and College 103, which are specific skill-based courses for freshmen at Tri-County. That last pillar that we had on a slide earlier has to do with the residential experience. The living and learning part of college is very important and a key part of our Bridge program. Our students in the Bridge program live on Clemson's campus in dedicated student housing. We have a couple of pictures here of our Lightsey Bridge complex, which is one of the areas that students live. We have Lightsey Bridge Complex 1 and 2 and a section of the Calhoun Courts complex. So these are screenshots of the actual student living locations. Engagement and support is really built around what's called the residential experience model, and that is a model of self-exploration, community living, intellectual engagement, and global citizenship. And our university housing team fully supports our Bridge students. So our Bridge students living on Clemson's campus have the resident assistant assigned to them for their building. They have a lot of wonderful students and programming that are there to support them from our housing partners at Clemson University. A key component of college is thinking about some of the things that you want to do in terms of your goals, your career goals, personal goals. Our Clemson's Career Center, the Center for Career and Professional Development, that's hard to say, is available to our students during the Bridge year, as well as Tri-County's Career Center. So students have access to both campus departments that can help them working on their professional goals, thinking about changing their major. How do I explore those things? It's very, very common for students to be thinking about that. They have the opportunity to explore through both institutions. Kristen mentioned the Redford Health Center and the services that students are able to have at their fingertips include our medical, counseling, and psychological services. It is a fully run, accredited student health center. So it's a very key part of our students' experience, and it's there for our students when they need that support. Getting connected to our Clemson campus is a big part of our Bridge program, and on this slide you can see just a variety of screenshots we've put together from campus activities. We encourage our students to participate in all things that they are interested in terms of student engagement opportunities. Of course, Spike Recreation, very important part of being involved on a college campus. Students are very interested in intramural sports, and those go on both fall and spring semester in a large number of different areas. And students are very, very happy to be able to get on some intramural teams and get to know some other students. That's another way that they get engaged. Clemson has a portal called Tiger Quest, which is our portal for student clubs and organizations. During the bridge year, students can log in, set up a profile, and search for other clubs and organizations and opportunities that they would like to get involved in at Clemson. That is part of their plan for being in the bridge program, and we encourage our students every year to be involved in different clubs and organizations. We tease our students that there's a grilled cheese club at Clemson, which I believe actually does exist, along with a chocolate milk club. So now that you're hungry, we'll go on to the next slide. Probably doesn't need to have any explanation about this slide. Clemson athletic events, supporting the Tigers, doing what students would love to do in terms of participating and being involved. And that is definitely an option with our students in the bridge program. Students also have a meal plan. If they live on Clemson's campus, they do have a flexible meal plan that they can use to support both the time they spend on Clemson's campus and at Tri-County. That's a picture of their Tiger One card with the tiger on the front. The bridge students do have a dedicated transit method for getting back and forth from our campus to Tri-County. Certainly they can bring their car as well, but we do have Tiger Transit and the CAT bus. Both of these are dedicated services. The CAT bus also serves the local area as Clemson Area Transit. So depending on which unit in the student housing a student is with, that dictates which bus they would take to go back and forth to campus if they choose to use the transit. Certainly, we do also have our our social media, Instagram, Twitter accounts. We have lots of students following us. We do have a bridge app. And so we encourage our students to stay connected through our social media. And we often use our social media platforms to also push out information about special programs, key reminders, special events that are going to be happening, and help our students stay up to date with a variety of topics and items of interest to them. At this point, I wanted to ask Bob to hop back on and tell us a little bit more about students applying to Clemson and getting that bridge offer.
Thank you, Mary. If I could just share my screen for a second, and hopefully you'll see that. This gives our process from the admissions office. I also want to address, we had a question earlier on about students who have graduated a number of years from high school later and coming back and being part of that bridge program. It is possible, but the bridge program is designed to be a program for first-year, first-time college students, so that a student who has graduated from high school and maybe gone to another institution prior to considering Clemson would probably be most appropriate for a regular transfer program and not the bridge program. If, however, they have not attended any other institutions and would be a traditional first-time, first-year freshman, then certainly that is a possibility for them to join the program. What I have on the screen right now is the Clemson admission process and the dates that are most significant, starting out with that December 1 date. It is for priority application. It is not a concrete deadline, if you will, not a firm floor, because our deadline for application is really up until May 1, which is also our decision date, where students who have been admitted have to make their commitment at that point for both the bridge program and for a regular admission to Clemson. But those students who apply after December 1st may sometimes be at disadvantage. So I highly recommend that you get your application in no later than December 1st. Certainly earlier is fine. Our application opened August 1st for next fall and for this spring. And then after that, make sure that you complete the the requisite filings of transcripts if you have been to more than one high school. Those things that are required for regular freshman admission, or if you're a transfer student, we would need your transcripts from other college institutions that you've attended. Again, for Bridge in particular, and for freshman admissions, standardized tests for this coming year are optional for Clemson. If students are able to take those exams and have some that they would like to be considered for admission, we'll ask that they please submit those. If they are not interested in having those scores be a part of their application record, then don't submit them. It is a choice that a student will be able to make. It's new for us. We're only doing it for 1 year, so it is a little bit novel in that regard, but we will see how it works in terms of subsequent years. The platforms that we are offering for admission are Slate, which is right through the www.clemson.edu platform, the Common Application, which is new to us this year, and the Coalition for College Access, which we have been a part of since its inception several years ago now. And then again, for admission to Clemson, we will look on the academic performance in high school scores if you choose to submit those, and also your standardized test performance. Let's see. Let me see if I can go one more. And here are the 3 different areas that we will consider for admission. The one we're speaking about today is the Bridge to Clemson program, and now you have a much better understanding, hopefully, of how that works. The other 2 programs are a summer program where a student would begin at Clemson prior to the beginning of their freshman year. And then, of course, you can transfer to Clemson as well after you have attended another college and university for a while. So those are 3 things that we'd like to talk about at this point in time. And of course, at the time you apply for admission to Clemson, you are considered for the Bridge program, you are considered for Tigertown Summer Bound, and we may actually have to refer you to transfer at a later date if we find that those programs are not effective or would not serve you best, and not necessarily serve the institution best either.
Thank you, Bob. I will go ahead and share my screen again so we can have our begin our Q&A.
All right, a question that we got is, you mentioned that students can get involved at both Clemson and Tri-County. What are things that students typically like to get involved in?
So at Tri-County, we have a national leadership organization that a lot of our Bridge students get involved with. We also have some academic specific, so we have like a Spanish club or other clubs that are more academic geared. Clemson definitely has a lot more. They're well into the hundreds, as they are a much larger institution and from international student reach, but our students also have the opportunity to participate in BLA, which I'll let Mary talk a little bit about. And then we also, there's an option for students to also create an organization. So if there's something that really is in your interest and Clemson doesn't yet have it in their hundreds of clubs, we've had students over the last few years create the Grilled Cheese Club, and that's real. It really does meet. So there really is something for everyone, and if it's not there yet, there's avenues for students to create it. So a big portion of Clemson culture is athletics and going either to games and events on campus, but also our intramurals, which our students are able to participate in. And so that's really just a student by student basis. And then also there's a lot of faith-based institution or faith-based organizations on Clemson's campus, and many of our students participate in that as well. But I'll let Mary talk a little bit about BLA because that's a Bridge specific program.
Thank you, Kristen. The Bridge Leadership Academy is what known as BLA, is a group of students during their Bridge year who are led by one of our professional staff members and our graduate student, and they are involved in leadership activities and engagement. It serves the purpose of both a club and an organization, and is recognized as a Clemson official organization through the Tiger Quest platform. And as Kristen mentioned, students can also create their own opportunities in terms of clubs and organizations. So I would think the large number of students participate in things such as intramurals through our FIKE Recreation Center, core activities, which is our outdoor trips and activities venues, and a variety of those kinds of athletic types of things for students to do, as well as join the Grilled Cheese Club or any of those other that are based by interest for different students.
Great. Okay, so another question we received is, how are the first semester courses selected once admitted? And is there a counselor session to help the students pick their curriculum?
So our students actually go through orientation, just like at most institutions. We have a bridge specific orientation program here at Tri-County. So it is Clemson and Tri-County integrated. And students actually go through and meet with a faculty advisor or a group of faculty advisors and schedule their first semester. Also, both the faculty and the student are introduced to our curriculum worksheets, which are actually out on our web. So that tctc.edu/Clemson Bridge. Major curriculum worksheets are developed on the Clemson side every year for the college catalog once published at Clemson University. So we actually have those colleges and their staff advisors look over the curriculum, and we ensure transferability from Tri-County to Clemson, but then also that they are taking on curriculum track courses in their bridge year. Where that matters is then that student has that curriculum worksheet. They're all published, so if they change their major or they're kind of thinking between different majors, students have the resources at their fingertips, as do the faculty advisors. That's also important because once they proceed to the second semester of the bridge year, the spring semester, they will have a required meeting with their assigned faculty advisor in which they'll do much the same of discussing in case they've wanted to change their major and haven't done so, or have done that and now need to schedule with their new major in mind. Even if they've stayed the same major, that required meeting does occur every semester at Tri-County. And that would include the grace period of summer if they need it to still cross the bridge, or they're just staying with us at Tri-County to get a few more classes knocked out before they head to Clemson. So they will meet with a faculty advisor every time for the next semester at Tri-County. I think part of the question might be counselors as school counselors. We actually don't meet with the school counselors because the students will be doing that as part of their college experience. But because those are out on the web, certainly as students are being helped for AP or college enrollment, they are published and they are a free resource for counselors in the high schools. And we would encourage you to use those for your students as well, as again, they are developed on the Clemson side with the Clemson colleges and their staff advisors. So it's a great resource for even high school course selection decisions.
Another question that we got concerns AP scores and whether they transfer or not to Tri-County.
Okay, so AP scores, it is somewhat of a word limbo, but AP, IB, and dual enrollment will help bridge the Clemson students as it does most schools. We will honor at Tri-County the Clemson awarding of AP, IB, or dual enrollment. However, what that means is, let's say the student has English 101 credit at Tri-County, but as the Clemson credit. They'll progress to their next course. So it may not count in that bridge year, which is what I was speaking about earlier, but it will help them towards it. So where that wouldn't help students with Tri-County, Bridge, or Clemson is, let's say an AP score of 3 or higher were better or required, and a student got a 1 or a 2. That would not help them at Tri-County, it would not help them at Clemson, and it wouldn't progress them in their curriculum. What is important though is any AP, IB, or dual enrollment do not count in the Bridge 30. So if they were to have that English credit and move on to a literature requirement, maybe, they will progress in their curriculum, but that prior to college, so any high school credit, does not count in that fresh Bridge to Clemson 30. So it's a good way to think of your Bridge 30 have to be from the day you walk in at Tri-County to the end of the spring semester or the grace period of summer of your Bridge year. That's what we reference as the 30 credits. And that's why in our language, AP dual enrollment and IB do not count in those 30, but we do honor for curriculum progression we're awarding that Clemson would give for AP, IB, or dual enrollment. If that doesn't answer a specific question, please ask again, and we're happy to help.
Another question we got is, when does orientation normally occur prior to the fall semester? And is it different with COVID-19?
Oh boy, what isn't different with COVID-19? So typically orientation is every summer. It's usually in June and July of the summer prior to your Bridge year and after high school graduation, or as Bob mentioned, if you sat out a few years but not attended, it would be that summer prior to the Bridge year. This year, we, like many schools, including Clemson, did a virtual orientation. Tri-County traditional and our Bridge to Clemson was a virtual orientation. And it looks very different school to school. Ours included some of our in-person communications and connections. We know students like to hear from fellow students, and so our orientation required some online modules so that you still get the content from an orientation day. It included what we call our Tiger Talks, and those were with our orientation ambassadors or OAs, and those are upper class students at Clemson. Almost all, if not every single one, previously went through Bridge to Clemson. And they really just help kind of foster some conversation and some peer-to-peer conversation about what to expect in Bridge, what to expect at Tri-County and Clemson, and really kind of what college adjustments are like. And then that last step of our virtual orientation included the faculty advisor meetings for an advising and registration appointment. So this summer certainly looked different. We don't know what next summer will look like, as hopefully things will continue to improve, but we're not sure what next year looks like quite yet. But for virtual orientation, everything students will receive will be hard copy mailed in the orientation mailing in the late spring. And then everything else is via email communication so that folks can receive in-time communication. And the best advice I would give you, whether you're joining us through Bridge to Clemson, joining Clemson, or joining Tri-County as a traditional admit, is your college email, even when you're trying to make decisions and still having a few options and routes available to you. The college email is the best resource, as many institutions use that as their ultimate and only communication tool so that we can keep students and their families informed. So once you start applying, make sure any offers you get, if they encourage you to start checking a college email or a university email, that's where we're going to give you in-time communication in addition to formal mailed communication or on the web. So that's a good tidbit and word to the wise, but that will really shape once students are submitting that non-refundable advance deposit in our program. We communicate via college email.
Beyond today, does Bridge to Clemson offer any other events similar to this one throughout the year?
So since our program is an invitation-only program, as Bob shared, we do offer info sessions in the spring. Similar to our previous question, COVID-19 changed things a lot this year, and so we did virtual info sessions, and we hope to offer probably the same this spring, though hopefully with some good changes, maybe we'll get to see folks on our campus again. But our info sessions are for offered students only. So because again, we are an invitation program, we do not offer open houses or recruitment events because we don't recruit. Clemson Admissions makes the distinguished and privileged offer to students, and then we at Tri-County work with those offered students and then as they progress to admitted students. So we do offer that. Sometimes we get questions about, can sophomores or juniors come? And unfortunately, because of that invitation only status, We do offer those only for offered students. We do offer them again throughout the spring semester. So as students are making their decisions and have to, which this year didn't matter about travel plans, we are able to offer them throughout the spring so that folks can make a very informed decision about this option B that gets them option A with the hard work.
So our last question is, what happens if I thought I was eligible for Bridge, but did not receive a Bridge offer? So something that you can still do is you can certainly still attend Tri-County. So Tri-County still offers 2 university transfer programs, our Associate in Arts and Associate in Science programs that are designed specifically for students to transfer to a 4-year institution like Clemson. Students can still take 1 to 2 full years of coursework without losing any additional time or money throughout that degree. We just make sure to tell students to talk with their advisor and work closely with them to review any kind of requirements to the college they're interested in transferring to, so that they make sure that they stay on track. And students can apply directly to Tri-County on our website at www.tctc.edu. All right, I think we have answered all of our questions. Oh, hold on, we've got one more. All right, will the offer come by mail or would it also come via email?
That is a great question. We are in the process of looking at a number of different possibilities with regard to notification. Traditionally, we have done it always by mail and depended on the government to make sure that those deliveries were out and timely. This year, we're exploring the possibilities of actually providing some messages via text message and also via email, but the decision would not be by email. We are now instituting what's called a student portal, where a student can check to make sure that their material is in and what may be missing from their file. So ideally, we would like to be able to send a message to students that say, hey, what you need to do is check your student portal. We've never done it before, but that's how we are anticipating doing it this year, especially given some of the other challenges in the world right now.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. So a huge thank you to all of our panelists and participants for joining us today. If you have any other questions after today's panel, please reach out to us. Our contact information will be provided with this recording. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Matt for his closing. Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you to the panel for all the great information that was shared today. When you close the window, this is for our attendees, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey that we would like to encourage you to submit so that we can get feedback. And we value any feedback that you can provide us with. Also, this is just one of many sessions going on, so please feel free to visit CACRAO.org to see a full listing of schedules of other sessions that might interest you. The website is CACRAO.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings, again, at that same website at CACRAO.org. Thanks again, and have a great rest of your day.